Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of our series for SEO. Again, thank you for everyone who's been on this journey so far. So far, we've talked about, what is SEO, why you need SEO, and how does SEO work for you, and how you can implement different tactics. So far, it's been a really, really good journey. So for this episode, myself, Clara, and Anush will be summarizing, the key points that we've discussed over the last 3 episodes, over the last 3 weeks, and what that means. Again, don't forget to click the subscribe button, follow, like us, and do leave your comments and feedback across all episodes so far, and let us know what you think. So I'm going to kick it off with the first thing in terms of what I want to summarize. We've talked a lot over, the last 3 episodes in terms of key things, but the key element I want to focus on is if you're a listener looking to try and understand how you should work with SEO and what it means for you, is break it down to 3 key elements. The first element being technical, the second element being content, and the third being links. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't start thinking, I need to do my website and do all this. Break it down into links and then build yourself a 6-month plan. That's how we do it. We do an audit on yourself. I talked about this in the last episode in terms of how you can do a technical audit. You can then do a content audit, as Claire discussed, and then look at, your websites like SEMrush and Ubersuggest, which is a new Patel tool I mentioned. They will give you a link profile in terms of how well your backlinks do. Look at these key elements and break it down in terms of, right, which elements are technical do I need to focus on, and focus on that element first. So get your technical element of your website done first. Then have a look at your keywords, look at your content, what's missing, do a gap analysis, and understand, right, how do I improve that? What content is good? What content do I need to add? And then look at, right, how can I get more authority from high authority websites to support the content that I've just created to help me support with that ranking and keywords? Follow that flow. Give yourself about 6 to 12 months to do it. Focus on technical, content, then links. How about yourself, Claire?
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. And we covered in earlier episodes about SEO. It takes a long time to work and it's part of a long-term strategy. So I think, I'm guilty of this myself. You listen to a podcast and it gets you all fired up and you're like, right, I'm going to go away and do this. But this is not something that you're going to be able to achieve overnight. You can't implement all of these things straight away and you won't see overnight results. So I think that's absolutely perfect, to recommend putting a plan together, because as SEO at companies, that's what we would do for our clients. And I think as well, truly understanding SEO is a never ending part of your strategy. It's not something that you just do and forget about, because every time you add new content to your website, you need to think about optimizing that. Every time you go through a rebrand or redesign or any things that you might do differently, you launching new products, you need to consider SEO. We've also touched upon the fact that, one of Google's biggest updates in recent years, Core Web Vitals, even if you were well optimized last year, you could now be totally at the bottom of the pack because of a whole new algorithm that's come out and the way that Google judges websites. So it really does have to be seen as an ongoing long-term strategy. So yeah, I think definitely don't overwhelm yourself and take it easy and think about the areas that are going to be easy for you to get started. Summarizing as well, obviously we've mentioned about Core Web Vitals, so you can go away and you could spend hours reading on that alone, but look into what it means for you, to further your knowledge on it based on what we've already mentioned. Then just to reiterate the other guidelines, the EAT guidelines, so expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So if you can create content, if you can operate in a way that meets those 3 elements, then you're doing really well, and I think that translates across all forms of content, from written to imagery to video content as well.
So what I would actually tell is, don't hesitate if you don't see results in the beginning. Just do it again and again. Try different things, try differently, because sometimes you may think that you are doing everything right, but in reality, it may not affect your target audience. So try it, search do a lot of things to see results. And I'm sure that one day when you see the results, you will think that, okay, it's good that I haven't stopped in a way. So that's the most important thing. And maybe I will just quickly tell you one important tips. I'm always sharing only tips. So let me say that if you really want to see results in the beginning, especially if you are trying to get higher rankings in the YouTube, try to add a lot of subscribers, which will really help you in this case. And for doing that, you can always use the other social media channels as well. So you can share your posts in other social media channels, encourage or ask people to follow and subscribe your channel. And as higher your subscriptions would be, automatically Google will understand that YouTube will understand that you're providing good content and help you to, let's say, boost your content in the beginning, which will encourage you again to create more videos and share valuable content.
And do you know what? The same goes for website traffic as well. So as much as, website visitors, ultimately we're talking about one channel here, but there are multiple channels you can use to drive traffic to your site. And the more that you can improve on all of those areas, and, for example, when we talk about link building, we were specifically talking about like referral links from other sites, but actually your social media still is an element of link building. You're using these platforms to direct people to your site. You've got all these other channels available to you. So actually, by doing well in other areas and driving traffic to your site, and Google seeing that you've got a site that a lot of people are coming on, they're spending time on, they're not bouncing off, does naturally help your SEO as well. So it's just about kind of getting specific about who you are, the markets you want to be in, thinking about your target audience. This is essentially a marketing strategy. It's the same as you would consider anything else, but thinking if I create great content, if I'm in the places where my audience are and I'm delivering for them, then I will see results.
Maybe another trick is email campaigns that will also help you with the traffic.
But all that traffic comes from Google.
Yeah.
So I would say, as part of my summary insights, is prioritize Google as your platform for SEO. And it's because I mentioned this in one of the episodes in terms of, 90% of UK search traffic is Google. So optimize for Google, their guidelines, as Claire mentioned, the EAT guideline to Call with Vital guidelines, because that's where you're going to get most of your traffic and results from in the short term.
Absolutely.
So thank you everyone for listening. I hope you found our summary and insights very useful. That kind of summarizes all 4 episodes of SEO. Just a little bit of insight. Our next actual 4 series is about video. So Anush will be taking the lead on that, and we're very excited to be learning as Anush has learned on SEO from ourselves. So again, a big thank you to everyone. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe us on our podcast channels and on our YouTube channels. And we look forward to meeting you next week with a new set of series.